Now the Trump administration probing the University of California system, threatening to cut all federal funding because of alleged anti-Semitic responses to pro-Palestinian demos on its campuses. U.S. consumer confidence rebounding in May, jumping by the most in 4 years on that trade truce with China. And with President Trump now sidelining those threatened tariffs against the EU, at least for now, stocks soared today. The Dow up 741, 1.75% higher. The Nasdaq rose 2.5%, 462, and the S&P was up 2%, up 119. The consulting giant McKinsey, which gets a lot of its revenue from the federal government, cutting about 5,000 jobs in the past 18 months, according to the Financial Times. And Tesla sales across 32 countries in Europe plunging by 49% last month. That's on backlash against CEO Elon Musk and his support for some far-right political leaders. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Business for KCBS.
Come into Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill and see an amazing selection of Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliances live and on display in one of the largest living kitchens in the country. And save with Full Suite Savings Event. With qualifying purchase, get 3 additional years of protection or qualify for a $1,000 rebate. For the largest selection of Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliances, visit the Living Kitchen at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill or at Friedman'sAppliance.com. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus. Diabetes, high blood pressure, and anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
CBS News Time is 7:58. Let's go back down to that overturn in Mountain View.
Well, right now, CHP has all lanes blocked on 101 southbound in Mountain View at Rangsdorf Avenue to get this overturned car cleared off the road. So again, right now, all lanes temporarily blocked, and we see it backed up here from just before Oregon Expressway, and it's solid. So as you're heading through East Palo Alto, be prepared to hit the brakes because, again, all traffic is coming to a stop at Oregon Expressway because of this crash at Rangsdorf. So I will let you know once they open lanes, and hopefully at that time traffic will start moving again. But if you're already headed that way, you may just want to hop off the freeway and take city streets. You can get back on at Rangsdorf because the crash happened before Rangsdorf. If you get back on 101 at Rangsdorf, that'll get you around the issue. You may also want to just consider taking 280 if you're traveling on the peninsula. No delays, no problems, no road work on 280 in either direction. Your next update, 8:08 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Thanks, Rebecca. Fog is back tonight with lows in the 50s. Partly cloudy tomorrow with mild temperatures, though. 60s coast to right around 80 inland. Peak heat coming Friday into Saturday. It's Tuesday, May the 27th, 2025. Coming up on KCBS.
I'm David Welch in San Francisco, where glimpses of the mayor's attempt to balance the budget are starting to emerge.
I'm Raquel Maria Dillon in San Francisco. BART commuters are relieved that full service has been restored to the East Bay.
After a successful launch, Elon Musk's SpaceX Starship breaks apart upon re-entry after a fuel leak causes it to spin out of control. I'm Elisa Clancy. CBS News covers our world next. When you need to know, KCBS AM, KFRC FM, and HD1, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and Odyssey Station. 8 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The Trump administration is freezing new student visa interviews at U.S. embassies and consulates. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the latest.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio ordered the freeze as the vetting process for student visas will now include screening of social media accounts. State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce says there's nothing wrong with that.
Whether they be student or if you're a tourist who needs a visa or whoever you are, we're going to be looking at you.
And she says the U.S. is not alone.
Every sovereign country has a right to know who is trying to come in, why they want to come in, who they are.
This latest action follows several on-campus protests against the war in Gaza. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump is trying to slash more federal money from Harvard University. Fernando Reimers is director of the Global Education Innovation Initiative at Harvard. He says that the impact of the administration's latest...
The university is doing what it can, but these actions are pretty damaging, as is the recent ban on foreign students and scholars that would prevent them to come from the university. Both of those actions will change Harvard as we know it.
Harvard is suing the Trump administration over the funding freeze. The Trump administration claims the university is not doing enough to combat anti-Semitism and is engaging in race discrimination in its admission process and in other areas of student life. We've been more willing to spend this month. The Conference Board's consumer confidence is at 98 in May, up from 86 in April. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
Overall, consumers seem to be much more focused on prices and inflation, more than job security. They see that affordability is the number one issue in their economic lives.
The low unemployment rate, which stood at 4.2% in April, means unemployment has reached a 50-year low, and companies are continuing to hire. But, as CBS's Cooper Lawrence explains,
new research says that 25% of Americans are functionally unemployed. Those are the hustlers still looking for full-time employment. But in the meantime, they're doing anything and everything they can to bring in the Benjamins, like part-time or freelance work, until they're back full-time. Cooper Lawrence, CBS News.
Doctors say that everyone, even those with darker skin, should be wearing sunscreen daily. CBS's Michael George.
There's a misconception that the melanin in darker skin offers enough protection against the sun, but dermatologists say that's not good enough. While Black and Hispanic people are less likely to get skin cancer, they're also more likely to die from the disease.
Elon Musk's unmanned SpaceX Starship has failed a 9th test. There was a fuel leak. It spun out of control and was destroyed. The company says teams will continue to review data and work toward the next flight test. This is CBS News.
A word from Progressive Insurance. Life can be hard, so Progressive can make bundling your home and auto easy. Hope that helps. Learn more at progressive.com or...
It's 8:03 at the Bay Area's news station, KCBS. Fog and low clouds are back in tonight with 50s for lows. Mostly sunny after morning clouds. A little bit cooler tomorrow. 60s coast to right around 80 inland. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Elisa Clancy, and here's what's happening at this hour. San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie has set a June 1 deadline to submit his budget. KCBS's David Welch reports that deadline approaching and the mayor's priorities are starting to emerge.
Mayor Lurie is prepping officials on what to expect, and according to sources close to the mayor, that means a series of briefings with key city leaders. District 6 Supervisor and Budget Co-Chair Matt Dorsey just finished up his. He says a trend emerging, public safety plays a starring role.
It is priority number one for the mayor.
Dorsey represents the city's Soma neighborhood. He says many of his constituents are concerned about safety, and although he and the mayor don't agree on everything, he says they both believe improving public safety benefits the city's bottom line.
Violent crime and even measurable property crime categories are trending downward, but we do have a very serious
public disorder problem, and it's killing us in terms of convention business and commuters and reasons that people don't want to come to San Francisco.
Dorsey acknowledges by funding public safety, other programs end up getting cut, but he says it's something that needs to happen.
That's the situation that we're in when we're facing an $800 million plus budget deficit.
In San Francisco, David Welch, KCBS.
BART is back to full service today after a fire shut down service between Berryessa and Daly City for most of last week. KCBS's Raquel Maria Dillon spoke with some relieved commuters.
Many regular riders didn't even notice the reduced service. It only affected southern Alameda County and North San Jose. Commuters from Milpitas to East Oakland had a couple days of serious commute disruption and then fewer trains for a week. Here's Janae, who gets on at the Oakland Coliseum.
I had to use AC Transit. It was very crowded. So there was another day I had to figure out a different way to get to work. Even had to call out one day. Yeah, so, yeah.
Did that cost you money, or were they cool with that?
It caused me some issues, but they knew about what was going on, so they gave me some grace.
So anyone coming from Contra Costa County or North Oakland didn't notice many changes. John from Concord took it in stride and feels loyalty to BART.
It's been a bad month for BART, but I've been taking it since 1978, and the amount of people it moves is still an incredible system.
In San Francisco, I'm Raquel Maria Dillon, KCBS.
California is facing another summer of high fire danger and above normal wildfire activity in July and August. KCBS reporter Eric Thomas got the outlook from a meteorologist who specializes in fire forecasts.
Brent Wachter with the National Interagency Fire Center says we'll get our first taste of a series of summer heat waves starting this week.
With the heat waves, I think we're going to have quite a few of those over the next several months that will act to create a more flammable fuel bed.
Add in abundant grass and foliage with the high temperatures, and the third factor, low humidities, and you have a recipe for disaster. Fortunately, after a few hot days, onshore winds will return, bringing cooler temperatures and higher humidities. Unfortunately, Wachter says that doesn't happen right away.
But there's this period of time, sometimes a day or so, in which you get the really kind of gustier winds with the lower, marginally low humidity. It takes a while for the fuels to moisten up.
And during that period, wildfire risk is elevated. Eric Thomas, KCBS.
A body was recovered from the water near San Francisco's Embarcadero this morning. The San Francisco Fire Department says they got a call on 911 about someone in the water near Pier 15, which is next to the Exploratorium. They were able to get the body out of the water. No details were given about the victim, and the medical examiner is working to figure out how they died. Just ahead on KCBS.
I'm Brett Burkhardt with more on what caused a cluster of earthquakes this week off the coast of far northern California.
This is a sort of a complex little area.
There's traffic and weather together on KCBS. We have Rebecca Goody on in the traffic department, and I think we're going to go back down to that overturn in Mountain View.
That's right, we are. And by the way, this traffic report is sponsored by Ring Central, and we're going back over to 101 southbound at Rengstorff Avenue. That's where we had a crash involving a car that overturned. Right now, all lanes are blocked, but I did hear from CHP that they did manage to get those cars moved off the road, so they should be opening these lanes in just a matter of minutes. I will let you know for sure as it develops, but right now we see traffic, a pretty solid backup from before Oregon Expressway on 101 southbound. So it does appear, though, that they will be opening these lanes very soon, so just hang tight if you're stuck in this traffic. Once they open those lanes, it should move along pretty quickly. I don't see any other problems on 101 to stop your journey into San Jose if that's where you're headed tonight. Also looks like a pretty good trip if you're headed from South San Jose into Gilroy. 101 moving well in both directions there. And Highway 17 looks good from Los Gatos all the way to Santa Cruz. Your next update, 8:18 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Thanks, Rebecca. It was a pretty nice day getting back to work, huh? Some patchy fog coast to bay tonight, mostly clear inland. It'll be breezy with lows in the 50s, and then mostly sunny after the morning marine layer burns off. Mild to warm temperatures, 60s coast to just about 80 inland. There's a coastal flood advisory in effect. We had a little bit of flooding last night. This is in effect from 10 p.m. tonight until 2 a.m. tomorrow, right along the bay shore, San Francisco Bay and San Pablo Bay. And then should be warming up Thursday, Friday. Friday will be our peak heat day with triple digits far inland. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. Sponsored by Ring Central.
If you run a business, you have to try Ring Central. With Ring Central, you get a reliable business phone, messaging, video meetings, and a modern contact center all on one platform. See for yourself at ringcentral.com. Neuropathy is a debilitating condition that is sometimes misdiagnosed. Symptoms can include pain, numbness, and tingling in your hands, legs, and feet. Neuropathy is a progressive condition that only worsens unless you get effective treatment. SF Bay Wellness is a leader in neuropathy reversal and uses FDA-cleared, non-invasive electric cell therapy to restore nerve function with no injections, no drugs, and no surgery. The treatments have a 95% success rate. If distance is a factor, ask about our virtual consultation option. Call SF Bay Wellness at 844-94-NERVE for the $99 neuropathy evaluation and receive a personal treatment plan that is tailored to your needs. Don't wait another day. Call 844-94-NERVE. That's 844-94-NERVE. Why keep suffering with the painful symptoms of neuropathy? You deserve to live a pain-free life. Start getting the treatment you need for your neuropathy symptoms. Call today. People always stop and ask me, where did you find that Gucci bag? That vintage dress? That outfit? And I'm like, The Real.
Meet Sarah. She's an expert pattern mixer, a Prada collector, and a big fan of The Real.
I think personal style is the ultimate self-expression, so it matters to me to find one-of-a-kind designer items or vintage pieces that fit my style. That's why I love shopping on The Real.
The Real is the world's largest and most trusted resource for authenticated luxury resale. And right now, you can get $25 off your first purchase when you visit therealreal.com/radio.
I love the peace of mind I get knowing that everything is authentic. The best part about shopping on The Real, I can find the perfect dress, the perfect bag that makes me feel like me.
With up to 90% off retail, no one does resale like The Real. And right now, you can get $25 off your first purchase at therealreal.com/radio. Go to therealreal.com/radio to get your $25 off. That's therealreal.com/RADIO.
KCBS News Time is 8:11. We're learning more about a cluster of earthquakes off the coast of Northern California this week. KCBS's Brett Burkhart reports.
The first quake off the coast of Ferndale, just south of Eureka, woke people up at 1:17 Monday morning.
And there is what we call a little swarm of earthquakes, most of small to moderate size.
Steve DeLong is a supervisory research geologist with USGS who says the largest measured 4.6 on the Mendocino Fault.
And this is really the most tectonically active part of California.
DeLong describes the area as complex.
And it's a place where to the north there's a chunk of the Pacific Plate that's moving to the east faster than the chunk of the Pacific Plate. So when I say Pacific Plate, I actually mean the rocks that are, underneath the ocean, and those are moving due to tectonic forces.
An area where the Cascadia subduction zone meets the San Andreas. So he says swarms of light to moderate quakes are not uncommon.
Because all that sort of combines in one spot, and there's different plates moving at different speeds. We get a lot of earthquake activity of different kinds up there.
There were no reports of injuries or damage, but DeLong says it's a good reminder to be prepared.
It's always a good reminder of that.
Brett Burkhart, KCBS.
Coming up in sports, the Hurricanes finally snap a long-standing NHL record. That's in 2 minutes.
Now it's time for the closer of the week. Presented by LiftMaster and R&S Doors. Turn your garage into the envy of the neighborhood. Visit rsdoors.com. This week's closer comes from Lynn from Berkeley. R&S Erection of Richmond came to fix our roll-up garage gate at the Addison Apartments in Berkeley. Ricardo and Miguel both did an excellent job. I gave them 5 stars out of 5, and they got the job done shorter than they anticipated. Recently, my garage door opener was not working. I was in need of a closer. I was put in touch with R&S Doors, and they hooked me up with a brand new garage